Hi, my name is Parker Davis, and today I will be talking about transgender rights in the United States. There are several issues often discussed when discussing transgender rights, and those are transgender use of public restrooms, who should have access to transgender healthcare, and the discussion of transgender people in our education system. The most common concerns have to do with the privacy of everyone involved in public restrooms, the mental health of those who receive this care, and information bias when discussion of transgender people does happen. Starting with the Civil Rights Movement in 1964, the rights of citizens were protected no matter their race, sex, religion, or nationality. It wasn't until 2020 that Supreme Court case Bostock v. Clayton County ruled that sexualities and gender identities were also protected as a part of the Civil Rights Act. There are still certain rights which aren't protected, and these rights vary depending on which state you are in. Advocacy for a transgender Bill of Rights to better protect those with a gender identity that was not assigned at birth is on the table, but there is currently no such thing. While this issue affects certain people more than others, there are still several groups which will be affected by any change in legislation around transgender issues. This includes politicians, the general population, transgender adults, transgender children, and medical professionals. Currently, federal policy benefits those who are anti-transgender, as well as politicians who are against transgender rights. It hinders those who are transgender, as well as those who provide care to transgender people. Some potential changes that could happen if policies are made to help transgender people could be potential coverage of transgender healthcare, further extension of transgender people's legal rights, better mental health of those who now have more access to care, as well as enabling them to do more within society. The conservative standpoint on transgender rights is as follows. Transgender people aren't the gender they claim to be and should be judged as their birth sex. Transgender education will confuse children. Transgender healthcare for minors is harmful and should be discouraged or illegal. Transgender healthcare should not be covered. Documents such as treatment of gender dysphoria for children and adolescents from the Florida Department of Health discusses reasoning why these beliefs are held. The liberal standpoint on transgender rights is as follows. Transgender people are the gender they claim to be, and that should be respected. Transgender education can only benefit children and not hurt them. Transgender healthcare for minors is beneficial for their mental health. Transgender healthcare should be covered. Articles such as Get the Facts on Gender Affirming Care from the Human Rights Campaign discusses reasoning why these beliefs are held. In my opinion, the liberal standpoint is more factually correct. Why? Well, for starters, gender dysphoria is very serious. Anti-transgender legislation not only harms those who it deems unworthy of medical care, but has led to increased suicide rates in transgender populations that have begun to lose hope because of it. Transgender minors can also receive gender-affirming care in entirely safe ways that not only benefits their quality of life, but doesn't result in their mutilation. The idea that transgender children have been groomed is wildly inaccurate, and has only resulted in making transgender adults seem like they are trying to spread their dysphoria to children. Without transgender care, it is shown that people with gender dysphoria are more likely to resort to self-harm or suicide. By denying all transgender people this type of care, you deny them care that could potentially save their life. The reason I have chosen this topic is because it affects me heavily. I both suffer from and know people who struggle from gender dysphoria. And while things have been getting better, it can still feel like nothing is guaranteed. At any moment, these issues could become worse and result in less recognition of transgender people as a whole. To conclude this presentation, this topic is important as it has issues that affect both transgender people and those around them. Many different groups of people are affected by these issues, and there are two very different ideas on how we need to fix it. I personally believe in a more liberal standpoint, and my recommendation on how to fix this is more widespread education on transgender issues. Many people aren't knowledgeable on why this affects so many people, and are fed false information. If everyone knew how serious of a topic this is, then things could get better. Here is my works cited slide, and have a wonderful day.